Hello, everybody. This is the Pocket Passer. I'm your host, Randy White. I hope all of you are having a fantastic day. I know I am. With the conclusion of Week 6, we are back with yet another key takeaways from this previous weekend of NFL football. So, this weekend, a bunch of crazy stuff happened. Obviously, this is Tuesday night, so this is following right after yet another horrific primetime game displayed by the Denver Broncos, where they seem to be poisoning whatever team they're playing, so they also have no offense. I guess that's a testament to the Broncos' defense being the only competent unit on their team. But I don't know. It's painful to watch them. Anyway, that's not one of my key takeaways. That would have been my key takeaway in like week 3. At this point, we've come to expect it. I'm almost done talking about the Broncos until they show some semblance of competence outside of the first quarter, where Russell Wilson did look good. 10 for 10 for over 100 yards and a touchdown in that first quarter. And that is the only good quarter of football we have seen out of that Denver Broncos offense. So let's see if they can figure something out pretty soon. Anyway, starting off with number 1, even Rich Bisaccia, the most respected special teams coach in the NFL, and if he's not the most, he's at least one of the most respected special teams coaches in the NFL. Even he can't save the Packers' special teams. A blocked punt that goes for a touchdown and a blocked field goal. Green Bay special teams continues to disappoint year in and year out. And this is after this year, they looked semi-promising, or at the very least, they did look improved this year as opposed to previous years. But still, to have a performance like that where you have 2 blocked kicks, that's a 10-point swing, a blocked field goal, and a blocked punt. The same thing happened to them in the divisional round last year against San Francisco 49ers. A blocked field goal and a blocked punt that goes for a touchdown occurred in that game versus the Niners. That was a game they lost by 3, and that was a 10-point swing in favor of the Niners. Special teams costing them games. This time a 10-point swing in a game they lost by 17. It would have been a 7-point game. Green Bay would have been in it on that final drive. Not saying they deserved to win that game. The Packers offense was embarrassing and the performance pathetic. Play calling has been struggling, as well as the offensive line. Rodgers' play has been inconsistent and his decision making has been questionable. Receivers are failing to get open, and we're not running the football with our very talented running backs nearly as much and nearly as situationally efficiently as we should be doing. Aaron Jones is a very high yards per carry. A.J. Dillon's still a power runner, but we're just not feeding Aaron Jones the rock as early and as often as we should be. We need to get back to a power run formula until these receivers actually develop and until we have veteran guys we can trust, with Sammy Watkins not in currently and Randall Cobb, another veteran leader, also injured in that game versus the Jets. Packers appear to be spiraling now at 3-3 after winning 3 straight. They've now lost 2 straight, both to New York teams that appear to be very good. More on that in a minute. Number 2, if you didn't already know, Dak is still QB1. The Cooper Rush is our new QB1. We don't need Dak. We could trade Dak, blah, blah, blah. The money wasn't worth it. Those talks can kind of simmer down now. I knew it was silly. I kind of humored the Cooper Rush hype. But guys, I mean, the offense was very clearly based around Cooper Rush not having to make plays and saying, hey, the defense is going to win us games. Cooper Rush is not going to go out and win us games. That was very clearly the case in all of their wins, except for Cooper Rush's, I believe he had a game-winning drive against the Bengals. But with the exception of that, and even then it was a low-scoring game, which is why they were in it. It's been defense, hold the offense to a low number of points, and offense just put up more than 15 points, put up more than 17 points, and you'll win the football game. That was the formula. They put up 17 points against the Eagles. It wasn't enough because the Eagles are a really good defense, and the Eagles are a really good offense. Jalen Hurts put up 27 points. Jalen Hurts and that high-powered Eagles offense put up 27 points against a very good Cowboys defense because the Eagles offense is spectacular. And that kind of moves into my third point, which is that the NFC least of last year has become the NFC beast of this year. And not just the NFC beast, but maybe the NFL beast. I don't know that there's a division with as many good teams as the NFC East has. We all thought the AFC West was going to be the juggernaut of the NFL, but the Broncos have been a major disappointment. The Raiders have been a major disappointment. The Chargers are riddled with injury, and The Chiefs, who I thought would be last place in the division, are absolutely running away with the division and look to clearly and obviously be the best team in that division by far. Maybe a healthy Chargers team could compete. In fact, they did compete in a very close game that really came down to a tired Gerald Everett not entirely running his route properly and Justin Herbert throwing a pick six because of it. If that play doesn't happen, the Chargers almost certainly win that game, and we're kind of looking at a little bit of a different landscape here in the AFC West. But nevertheless, we all thought, or many of us thought, that all four teams in the AFC West would be playoff contenders. The Broncos are spiraling in a major way. Their offense is pathetic, although their defense is very, very good. The Raiders, offensively, putting up fireworks. They've done some impressive things. Defensively, been very inconsistent, and they can't seem to hold on to a lead to save their lives. A team with a quarterback that is known for being clutch has been very much so the opposite of that, and more so his offense that he is leading has been the opposite of that so far this season. Obviously, not all of it is Derek Carr's fault. Maybe don't run into each other on 4th and 1 when you have a guy that presumably would have been open. I'm assuming Davante Adams would likely have been open on that route if the play design, or not play design, but execution of the play hadn't been so horrible on one of their parts. Moving on, though, the NFC, or sticking more with the main point of this, is that the NFC East has looked excellent this year. The Giants are 5-1. The Cowboys are 4-2. The Eagles are 6-0. And then you've got Washington that's kind of disappointment. But that's beside the point. Outside of Washington, you have three very, very good teams in the NFC East, all vying for playoff spots, all kind of considerable top 10, 15 at the very worst, but probably top 10 teams. The Eagles are undeniably a top 3 team. They're in the mix with the Bills, Chiefs, and then themselves. I would put the Eagles probably at 1 because they're undefeated, but it really goes between them and the Bills, either or. I'd say those are the top 2. I think Cowboys are outskirts of top 10. They're probably around the 9-ish range, 8-ish range. And the Giants have looked excellent, beating a Packer team that, yes, is struggling, but it's still led by Aaron Rodgers, coached by Matt LaFleur, and they have a lot of star power defensively, and Daniel Jones looks very polished, looked like a veteran quarterback picking apart that defense in the second half especially, and Saquon Barkley looks exceptional. Brian Dable has clearly changed the culture of this Giants team. They look like they can go up and beat just about anyone. They just got it done against a very good Baltimore Ravens team. Baltimore Ravens team that may have a 3-3 record, but they are not a 3-3 team. They had injuries, guys coming back from injuries, and they kind of played really sloppy defense early in the season. I think their defense is going to continue to look better and better as the season goes on. The Giants' pass rush got after it against the Ravens. Lamar Jackson struggled, making 2 horrible mistakes late in the game that sprung the Giants to victory. They look very, very good. The Eagles look very, very good. And the Cowboys' defense is one of the best defenses in the NFL, probably top 3. Stars all across that team. Eagles' defense also star-studded. Darius Slay has been playing exceptional football along with the rest of that defense. The Eagles' offense is absolutely loaded and playing at a very high level. I think the Cowboys' offense is going to start to get rolling and put up points with the return of Dak Prescott once he starts to get more situated with things and kind of starts to get back to his old way of football. I don't think Dak's necessarily a top 10 quarterback, but he's absolutely a very good quarterback, a great leader, and he just led the number 1 offense in the league last year. Obviously, they've lost firepower, but the Cowboys' defense is good enough that the Cowboys' offense will be able to, led by Dak, put up enough points to win games. I would at least presume. Number 4, New York teams are back on the rise. I covered the Giants and how good they look, but the New York Jets, 4-2, just dominated the Green Bay Packers, especially in the special teams area. I believe they did have a punt blocked of their own, but their defense looked exceptional, completely stifling a Packers offense that, yes, has struggled this year, but it's still an Aaron Rodgers-led offense, and you'd expect them to put up 20-plus points like they have the majority of the season, with the exception of the Buccaneers game and the Week 1 Minnesota game. They have put up over 20 points, I believe, in all of their other games. They did not get that done against the Jets at all. The Packers' offense was completely stifled, and Jets' defense looked very, very good. Zach Wilson didn't even have to do much, only attempted 18 passes, completed 10 of them for a little over 100 yards, And Breece Hall, the rookie, has looked exceptional. That entire Jets running game has looked very good. Robert Saleh has turned this team around in just a little over a year, it appears, as they are in the playoff picture and right now sitting at second in their division after manhandling an injured Dolphins team last week. So now, 5. Now that Cooper Rush has come back down to earth, the new QB controversy is in New England. Bailey Zappi, 3-0 as the starter now. Cooper Rush got his first loss as the starter, and now Bailey Zappi, the lone quarterback to be 3-0 in the league currently. Well, him and Zach Wilson, actually. But the Patriots, very interesting situation, similar to what the Cowboys had. Mac Jones gets hurt, just like Dak Prescott. Rookie quarterback comes in. Rookie quarterback starts winning games, immediately plays well against Green Bay, although Green Bay did sneak out a win. It took overtime. Maybe that was thanks to a touchdown drop at the end of the fourth quarter, or nearing the end of the fourth quarter, inside of 2 minutes to go, or just outside of it, whatever it may be. That is the reason they were in it. But nevertheless, Bailey Zappi, in his first game, nearly led the Patriots to a lead over Green Bay, and then followed that up with 3 straight wins as the starter, or at least 2 straight wins. He's looked very good. He's throwing the ball a lot, and he's throwing the ball effectively to a team with receivers that appeared to not be very productive, but they've kind of come into their own. Ramondre Stevenson picking up in the run game, and if Bailey Zappi continues to win, we're going to see more and more whispers about if he will replace Mac Jones or not. I think it's a little bit of an overreaction at this point. One thing that young quarterbacks do, or quarterbacks of all kinds, are known to do in the NFL is when they come in and they have a very different playing style than the quarterback that started ahead of them. Very often, defenses struggle to defend against those quarterbacks because they kind of have to get new film on the guy, figure out what they're all about, figure out what they want to do, how they kind of read the defense, go through the progressions, whatever it may be, how the offense likes to call their plays around said new quarterback, and it takes, 5 or so weeks for the defenses to adjust usually. And once you get around 6-7 games, or in this case, once we get kind of closer to Thanksgiving area, Mac Jones will probably be back by then, and he'll probably get the starting job back by then. But if they choose to keep Bailey Zappi in, we'll know if he's legit or not probably around Thanksgiving time, as defenses have time to adjust to what they're doing offensively and see if they can try and take away what they're doing. That's when we'll really know just how effective is Bailey Zappi, really, or is it just kind of the shock of a new quarterback kind of giving a little bit of a new energy boost to a team with injury issues that kind of needed a little bit of an energy boost with their struggling situation. Finally, we're going to have one extra thing. I know this is a 5 takeaway video, but just one extra thing that kind of sums up the whole season. This isn't just this week. This is the whole season. And really, this is life in general on every level. Nothing is always exactly as it seems. The NFL is the perfect example, and it proves not just what's happening in the NFL, but in all aspects of life. Just because something appears to be a certain way before something begins or as something is kind of going along does not mean it's going to stick to that formula, to that appearance. We thought the AFC West was going to be exceptional. They're very mediocre. They got teams at the top, they got teams at the bottom, and just like everything else in the majority of life, stuff kind of evens out. Oh, this is stacked against this person's favor. This isn't going well for me in this area. Whatever it may be, life kind of has a way of balancing things out, and so does the NFL. It's no different than the rest of life in that sense. And football is kind of a microcosm of life in that sense, that you learn a lot about struggle and hard work, but you also learn a lot about balance and how things might appear to be up high and down low at times, but at the end of the day, things kind of level off to a certain extent. And it's never nearly as good as it seems or nearly as bad as it seems when you're on the top of the mountain or the very, very bottom of the depths of the oceans. Whatever it may be, things kind of find a way of evening out, of getting to kind of equal playing grounds. So that's been proven. I, for one, thought Jalen Hurts wasn't really going to be it. He's proven to be exceptional. I thought the Packers' offense would be totally fine. They are far from it. Thought the AFC West would be great. They're far from it. Thought the NFC East would be bad. They're far from it. And the list just goes on and on and on. There's never a shortage of surprises in life and in football, and that's what makes both those things so, so great. That's all I got for you guys. If you want to see more of my content, Make sure to go subscribe, hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when I upload more videos. If you want to see my content on other platforms, you can go to Instagram, go to TikTok, follow me at The Pocket Passer. I posted 3 TikToks last night ranting about how awful that Broncos game was. If you want to check those out, I'm going to try and get kind of some better quality content out there on TikTok than what I have been. It's been a lot of kind of me just ranting. There's been some film study stuff. I broke down a couple plays from Matt Ryan in that Broncos-Colts game that I'd like to hear your guys' feedback. If you like that kind of content, I'll continue to produce that kind of thing as well. And that's all I got for you guys. I appreciate all of you for watching. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next video.